Tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou katoa, ko Josephine Tokawengawa. My name is Josephine Rudkin-Binks, and I'm the board member and sustainability lead at the Parnell Business Association. Welcome to another episode of Eco Bites, short, sharp, topical conversations in the eco space. 8 to 10 questions, one presenter, and released monthly. And today we're delighted to be featuring Kai Keepers. The Kantar New Zealand Food Waste Survey showed that every year we waste over 100,000 tonnes of perfectly good food in New Zealand. And the number one top item we throw away is bread. That's 29 million loaves of bread a year, to be exact. And this all adds up to over 3 billion of food wasted each year. And with the cost of food at the moment and the crisis that we're in, this is a huge amount of food that's wasted. You know, that actually could feed Dunedin for nearly 3 years. And hospitality is a big contributor to this issue. So it's great to hear today how Kai Keepers is helping them address this problem. So first, I'll give you a little insight into Nicola Waldren's bio, and then we'll have a chat. So Nicola Waldren is the General Manager at the Restaurant Association, which represents over 2,500 food businesses around the country. She has over 20 years' experience in leadership, strategy, and people management roles through not-for-profit businesses. She has extensive project management experience and has been involved in co-designing programs on behalf of the hospitality industry, working with government agencies, including MB, WorkSafe, MFE, and MPI. And Nicola is project manager for the association's new program, Kai Keepers, which is focusing on tackling the hospitality industry's food waste. She's passionate about advocating for the best future for the small businesses that make up the diverse hospitality space in Aotearoa. So welcome, Nicola.
Thank you.
Great. So tell us a little bit more about Kai Keepers and your role in particular.
Yeah, well, earlier this year, the Restaurant Association launched a pilot program called Kai Keepers, and this program is really focused in on reducing food waste in hospitality operations. And I mean, you referenced some of the research, quite astounding, research around how much food waste we really are generating each year. And so that's, part of where Kai Keepers came about, because there is some research that has sort of pinpointed our industry particularly as wasting nearly 25,000 tonnes of food waste every year. And one of the big things for us is that over 60% of that is avoidable. So that's where Kai Keepers is really around addressing that. So we've focused on reducing reducing the waste in the first place, and we're looking at all the different types of organic waste within hospitality businesses, from the prep waste in the restaurant kitchen to spoilage, and of course one of the big things is the waste that is left on the customers' plates as well, and that's been quite I think a bit of an eye-opener for the people that have been taking part in the program up until now. And with Kai Keepers, we've collaborated with another organisation called Edge Impact. So that's bringing together the Restaurant Association's connection and expertise in the hospitality industry with Edge's expertise in sustainability and behaviour change and circular economy. So it's really bringing sort of those two parts together, which has worked really well for us. And yeah, I've been project managing Kai Keepers. We've been planning it for all of last year and sort of really launched it this year. So it's been really exciting to be part of all the planning stage and talking to our members around what's coming, and now to actually have something underway.
Oh, that's awesome. And this pilot you've launched in Auckland and Bay of Plenty, is that right?
Yes, yeah. So we've started with 120 members across Auckland and Bay of Plenty predominantly, and a few in the Waikato as well. And we've got underway at the beginning of this year. And the first phase really is around working with the businesses to measure their food waste, and also to sort of start thinking about what they're seeing as the main sources of their food waste on a day-to-day basis. But by measuring it, we're getting that baseline that will kind of work back from. And next, we're going to go back to the businesses and trial different things to focus on, reducing waste, and we can test which ones are going to be most effective, because ultimately then we can roll this out nationwide, and we will have done the testing already.
And obviously it's only been running sort of 4 months, but how's it going? Are there any early sort of signals coming out?
It's just fascinating. I can't stop looking at the the data that's coming through on the different food waste. But it's been, talking to the businesses that are taking part. I mean, there hasn't been one that hasn't said like it's been really eye-opening for them. I think it's fair to say probably they didn't realize often how much food waste they were generating on a day-to-day basis, and this is really helping them to think about things already, even before we've kind of gone back and got them to sort of test things. But one of the other really cool things that's happening is that we're hearing a lot about their teams are really excited as well and really interested in finding out more, and it's creating a lot of discussion in the teams already about why the business is kind of doing this, and what they're seeing, and that's been something that's been really nice to hear too.
Yeah, oh, that's awesome. And obviously Parnell has a number of hospitality businesses, so I think this is going to be of sort of great interest to them. And so what's actually on your sort of sustainability agenda for this year?
Yeah, and I should just say that we have had a number of Parnell businesses already taking part in Kai Keepers, so it's good to,
Awesome.
good to see that participation. On the agenda for this year, Kai Keepers is obviously, that's our key focus, and we just want to finalise the project, the pilot, so that we can roll this out nationwide. But we're also collaborating with different organisations in this space as well, and we're creating more resources, cost calculators, so that people can kind of see, I guess, some of the financial impacts that could occur in their businesses if they reduced food waste in certain areas. And we just want to provide more guidance for members on the different areas to make their operations more sustainable. Obviously, this is really, Kai Keepers is really focused in on food waste, but we know that realistically you can't reduce food waste away completely in our businesses, although there are certainly some of our members that are doing some pretty amazing work at reducing their waste right down. But it's really important for us to create those connections between the hospitality industry businesses and those organisations that are also doing some really great things in this space. So that's a really important focus for us as well, whether it's repurposing that waste so it doesn't end up in landfill, or helping the businesses in other ways. So that making those connections between our member businesses and others is kind of something that's kind of come out of this as well. And for the Restaurant Association as a business association, we're driven by the needs of our members who are restaurant and cafe owners. And so we've set up a sustainability advisory group this year as well. And that's going to be just an amazing extra sounding board and sort of feedback loop for us. And we'll create new initiatives out of that discussion as well. So yeah, there's a few areas of focus.
Yeah, no,
We've
that's
always got a
great.
long list of things.
Brilliant. And I guess that kind of thinking and some of the principles in the sort of the program that you're running, as you say, businesses can apply across probably other areas, of their organization as well. So, so that's great. And so kind of what's your main driver, or did you have a kind of an aha moment at some point and that's why you started Kai Keepers?
Look, I mean, personally, it's been an area that I've been more and more interested in over a number of years. And, sometimes you can really, I mean, to be fair, I worry about things. Sometimes it does keep me up at night thinking, have we collectively, as a world, as a country, have we left it too late to be implementing change? But I think that you've got to be taking the approach that we need to take action and do something. And so that's what's important for me, is to be and for the association, is to be kind of leading the way where we can and helping to drive change, and also just encourage that best practices with the businesses that we work with. And we know that it is really important to a lot of the businesses that we do work with. In the planning for Kai Keepers, we were sort of asking them about how they rated, the importance of environmental sustainability to their businesses, and 92% said that it was important to them. So, they really are taking it seriously. Some people don't know where to start, though, and that's where we see it as an important role for us to sort of help them. And we also know that it's really important to customers too. We're seeing change is being driven also because of customer behaviors and customer desires. And so it's really important for the businesses, I think, to let their customers know what they're doing and what, where they are on the journey as well. And I think those stories, are pretty vital.
I mean, with 92%, it's great to hear that stat is so high that people, are focused on this. But what do you think still holds people back? You've mentioned maybe they don't know where to get started, but what do you think are the main things that hold people back from tackling the issue?
Yeah, I think there is a whole different range of preparedness and action that is happening. And there are definitely some that have got really comprehensive kind of sustainability programs already in place. But yeah, you're right. There's a lot of people that don't know where to start, and they just need guidance to take those first steps. And I think that's the big, you just have to take the first step, right? And I think one of the possible barriers for our industry as well is that hospitality is 7 day a week, we're daytime, evening, we're 24/7, and the owners are working in their businesses all that time, they're really, really time poor. And, they've got to prioritize things. And so, they don't necessarily have time to do the research and set things up themselves. But that's where I think it's really important to tap into organizations like ours that can sort of streamline things and kind of cut down on the work for them, and just jump into something that is going to support them along the way, and have that guidance that they need.
Oh, that's great. As you say, you're sort of providing a bit of a framework for them to get started. So, and does your sector, or whether it's the Restaurant Association or Kai Keepers, but do you have any kind of real key sustainability goals to achieve either through this program this year?
Yes, certainly with Kai Keepers, we do, one of our KPIs is around contributing to the reduction of food waste in our industry by 10%. So we've kind of got that set in stone. That's what we're trying to achieve. I think otherwise, a lot of individual operators are really driven by their own goals, because they know, or they've identified that it's important, and that, you know, collectively we need to work together to create change.
You mentioned that there's some businesses doing some really awesome work in this space. So would you like to sort of call somebody out? Who do you think's really leading the way in tackling this issue, and how?
Yeah, it is hard to call out people, but I mean, there is some amazing businesses and you know, restaurants and cafes out there that are really leading the way, and you know, have reduced their food waste down to such minimal amounts, and are just using food in such innovative, amazing ways, you know, like every part of the food. And yeah, so there, I mean, there really is some amazing stuff going on. And I also think that there are, you know, I've talked about us connecting with other businesses in this space as well, and I think it's been really eye-opening to me how many other businesses and organizations are out there doing amazing things. And again, it's sort of hard to, you know, call them out because there really are so many, and they often are quite regional specific as well. But we really respect and support, you know, what Food Waste Champions are doing, their Kai Commitment initiative, because that's really around, again, that collective action to building a more sustainable food system. And you know, there's organizations like Foodprint and Fair Food, and they're connecting those with surplus food, like the businesses that we work with others in the community. And again, I just sort of have so much respect for you know, what some of these organizations are doing. But yeah, I think the key thing is that there really is a lot of activity out there, and we've just got to find the stories and share them and get people talking.
Yeah, I've Fair Food, great. That I volunteer there on a regular basis, and yeah, they do some awesome work. And as you say, sharing that kind of best practice from what you're seeing some of the members doing, and making sure people share that kind of knowledge, you know, that's going to be really powerful, and motivating for people as well. So kind of finally, if there was one piece of advice for a hospitality business from you, what would that be?
Well, I probably would have to do a shameless plug and say that, you know, don't feel like you have to go it alone. You know, do tap into expertise wherever you can, and that might be other organizations or associations in your sector, because you know, obviously I'm an advocate for the support that organizations can provide for small businesses. And, you know, we do so often hear about people sort of saying, like, it's such a relief to know that they're not going through this situation by themselves, and they can find out, you know, through networks that are suddenly opened up to them. So obviously I'm a big advocate for, for not going it alone, and sort of tapping into resources where you can. But I think the other thing is, just for food businesses, that I always say, don't underestimate the vital role that, you know, our food businesses do play in the community. And I know that sometimes it's, you know, we've had some tough times over the past few years, and, you know, we're still in quite a challenging time. But, you know, we really are the cornerstone of our economy, and you know, we're the heartbeat of our communities. So just always remember that, because it would be a really sad place without the restaurants and cafes.
Yeah, no, kia ora, definitely. So thank you so much for that. How, if a business wants to reach out to you, how do they find Kai Keepers?
Well, we've got a website called kaikeepers.org, so they can jump on there or contact the Restaurant Association. We love to chat about Kai Keepers and keep anyone up to date with what's going on. So yeah, just reach out to us.
Brilliant. Awesome. Thank you so much for your time today, Nicola. That's really great, and keep up the awesome work that you're doing.
Thanks so much.